All right, welcome back, my brothers and sisters. I've been waiting all day to be able to tell you this. We just claimed ultimate victory. The stuff that we're about to show you is going to be incredible. The thing we've been waiting on with the whole suppressor removal and the short act is out. The Senate just released the text. I just got it a few moments ago. You got it. You won. Short barrel, the short act added, suppressors maintained. You literally went 3 for 3. 3 for 3. As you guys are getting in here, make sure you are sending this out. This one's going to be a little bit all over the place because this is just breaking. I've got everything for you right now, but guys, we're about to walk through how you got the short act added to the reconciliation bill, how suppressors remained, and now the next steps, because this is the pivotal key point. I'm going to break it all down right now. Make sure you send this one everywhere. You hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell, because damn it, we are coming for our rights. And what you guys have just achieved is truly remarkable. All right. So you know what? I'm just going to dive right into it, and I'm going to show you a lot of the things on the back end. So stay in for this whole video, but let me show you the actual text that just came out of the Senate Finance Committee. Okay, so let me bounce over there. Guys, this is a big one. I mean, genuinely, they added the short act. All right, I'm just going to run through this really quickly, make it a little bit bigger so you guys can see it, and then we should be good. There we go. All right, so this is on page 261 out of, make sure you got audio, video. Actually, I didn't ask about that. Okay, sweet. This is on the page 261, all right? So I'm going to read it real quick, and then I'm going to show you all the things that are going to happen now, because it is freaking go time, all right? Elimination of tax on certain devices under the National Firearms Act. In general, I'm going to skip a lot of the section stuff. It's amended by striking the first sentence and inserting the following. The term firearm means a machine gun or destructive device. Modification of treatment or shotguns is amended by striking except the shotgun or shotgun shell within the Secretary finds is generally acceptable. Again, we're getting just rigmarole, bear with me. As particularly suitable for sporting purposes, and inserting except shotgun shells in any weapon that is designed. Don't care about that part at the second. Confirming amendment. Section 5811 is amended by striking except the transfer tax on any firearm classified as any other weapon. So they got rid of the tax completely on everything except any other weapon. Bear with me on this. That puts suppressors, short barrels, and there's also a section in here about the preservation. Sorry, my phone is just going to go nuts in a second. Just bear with me. This is exciting. $5. Any other weapons, $5 for each such transfer. Effective date. The amendments by this subsection shall apply to calendar quarters beginning more than 90 days after the date of the enactment of this act. Treatment of certain devices determined by reference to National Firearms Act. Section 5841 is amended by adding the following. Requirements for short-barreled rifles, short-barreled shotguns, and other weapons determined by reference. In the case of any registration or licensing requirement under state or local law with respect to a short-barrel rifle, short-barreled shotgun, or any other weapon, which is determined by reference to the National Firearms Act, any person who requires or possesses such rifle, shotgun, or other weapon in accordance with Chapter 44 of this title shall be treated as meeting any such registration or licensing requirement with respect to each rifle or shotgun. Guys, suppressors stayed in here, and the short act was added. If you guys are hear nothing else on this, all the pressure and energy that you guys put forward, you rescued the suppressor from the House. It got removed from the NFA through the Hearing Protection Act through a manager's amendment because you guys grinded. Then the short act was just added in the Senate. It is now in the reconciliation bill. This is a really, really big deal. I'm going to walk you through all the ins and outs, but let me show you some other things here. Actually, you know what? Let's just do it for fun. I'm actually curious. Let's see if they put the word silencer in here or not. No, let's say suppressor. No, didn't see it. Okay, I was just curious about that one. Now let's get over to this next one, because this is what has to happen now that we're in this world. So again, guys, if you're just now tuning in, short act, suppressors, and the preemption for the suppressors in here. All right. That's not what I wanted to see. Here we go. Why the Senate is unlikely to debate the big, beautiful bill until next week. So this is the timing portion I'm going to walk you through. Because now, short act and suppressors are inside this bad boy. All right? Why the Senate's unlikely to pass it? That's because it's going to be pushed till next week. I got a few things highlighted here. Fox has learned that it is doubtful that Senate Republicans will put up the big, beautiful bill on the floor for the debate and vote this week. That will likely wait until the week of June 22nd, that this potentially jeopardizes final passage of the measure through the Senate and the House by July 4. So, not this week, but next week is the timing, okay? I'm laying out the timing for you right now. Short Act and suppressors in there. Now we got to talk about timing, and then I'm going to talk about the politics as well, because this is the politicking part, okay? This is the part where it gets real dicey. Lots of stuff is going to come out in the next few days on this channel about what we have to do with the parliamentarian, making sure it gets through in a worst case scenario, and what happens in the background. Make sure that subscription is turned on. I got a super chat over here. Next step, repeal and replace the GCA and the NFA with something that respects the constituents. Keep up the heat and press your senators. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, we've talked about the actual timeline. Sorry, I'm excited. I'm shocked. In a pleasant way. Senate Republicans will gather for a conference meeting in the Capitol after 5:30 p.m. fly-in votes. Senate Finance Committee Chair Mike Crapo will give a presentation on the panel's text. That is today, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So make sure that subscription and like is on and notifications on, because as these things happen, we're going to go full pedal to the metal, all throttle, all right? The Finance Committee has jurisdiction over the thorniest policy debates consuming Republicans in the Senate, House, and White House. It's also the final Senate panel to release legislative text, which has to happen in order for the bird bath to begin. That is the last and final boss is the parliamentarian. Okay, and we have an option as well. I'm going to walk you through in a second. But the final boss here, we've now passed the Finance Committee. Well, excuse me, it is now introduced in the legislative text from the Finance Committee. It is now in the bill, the Short Act and suppressor removal from the NFA. And now it has to go to the bird bath. Okay, that's where we're at. We've gotten over the hump of adding short, and now we've got to get to the bird bath. And there's some politics there, which I'm going to walk you through in a second. Bird bath. Okay, this will be a long week for the committee going through the bird bath. The panels must clear each provision with the Senate parliamentarian under the bird rule, which controls the reconciliation process. Finance isn't likely to start the formal bird review until later this week at the earliest. So, timeline lines up with what Fox News just reported. Probably next week, the week of the 22nd, the parliamentarian is starting late this week. Again, we will be following this like a bloodhound because now you've got suppressors and you've got the Short Act. Guys, you did incredible work on this. A lot of people spent a lot of time and energy on this, and you guys did your part. Great job. All right. So now let me talk to you about the politics of this, okay? I'm going to show you the positive, and then I'm going to show you the negative, but I got to check a super chat real quick. Super chat. Dun, dun, dun. Thank you for the super chat. I don't have anybody in Michigan. I'm sorry, man. And then there was one more. Yeah. So, guys, if you're just now getting in here, send this out because you're talking about the Short Act being added into the Senate one big beautiful bill in the legislative text. Basically, this is a win. All right. A massive win, an unprecedented win, to be quite candid. Let me just check some things. Cool. Yeah, I've got lots of other things as well. So basically the politics of this now. Best case scenario. You have the Republicans who came in and said, you know what, we heard from our constituents and we're going to add the Short Act in because it's going to pass through the bird bath. And if it can work for suppressors, why can't it work for the short barrel? And we're going to grind right in there and it's going to be amazing and incredible. That's the best path possible. Worst path possible. Republicans said, I don't know if this is going to get by the bird rule, so we're going to put everything in there that they want in order to basically say, we gave you what we wanted, but those pesky parliamentarians are going to get in the way. Now, there's lots of stuff coming this week of which we're going to release all this data to say what has happened in the past with the parliamentarian and what has been used to overrule the parliamentarian in the past, like the Affordable Care Act and Obamacare. So that's a big important piece as well. So as we go into this, there's a good scenario, there's a bad scenario. Either way, bottom line, they're both added in, okay? As they're both added in, now it's game time on the politics and the parliamentarian, and we're going to cover all of it in a second. Especially in the next couple of days and next videos. Now this one, I wanted to show you something because this is really important to understand where the politics of this comes in. A lot of the left said, oh my God, the big beautiful bill is gone and dead forever. There's not a chance in hell that they're ever going to make it work. Well, yeah, that was based on a lot of politics and crap, which we covered and told you. This is what Rand Paul just said. Watch this. I'm going to mute myself and I'm going to check up on all the things that are flooding into my phone right now. Listen to what Rand Paul said here.
Have been one of the most outspoken Republican critics of President Trump's tax and spend bill, what he has called the big, beautiful bill. You have said it raises the debt ceiling by far too much. Trump called you, quote, the toughest vote in the history of the U.S. Senate. Senator, let me ask you, as of today, are you a yes on this bill or a no?
Well, I take that as a compliment, and I talked to the president last evening after the parade, and we're trying to get to a better place in our conversations, and I've let him know that I'm not an absolute no. I can be a yes. I like the tax cuts. I actually agree with Art Laffer and the supply siders that a lot.
Okay, I don't care much more about what he's going to say there, but the whole bottom line here is I'm not necessarily all the way no. A week and a half ago, the media was telling you that this had no prayer, no chance in hell because Rand Paul was gone and so was Ron Johnson from Wisconsin. These guys are literally just playing the game. That's why I'm telling you. But now it's, well, I'm not all the way no. It could be a yes. It depends on what I want. That's the point. All right. Let's get back into the last thing that I want to show you here. That was the last thing I wanted to show you. In short, guys, you're talking about page 261. The exact language that I am getting from people in the know right now that are reaching out are, yep, they put the whole thing in there. They put the preemption in there. That's exactly what I just read you. Other people are saying need some technical edits, but it's essentially short in HPA. And the last one says absolutely did happen. It's on. And now even more confirmation. The Short Act has been added to the big, beautiful bill. It looks like this might be a massive first win. Yeah, guys, so we've got it confirmed through multiple creators, multiple 2A organizations. This bad boy is in there. Make sure you send this one out because I do not want you to miss the idea that this was only possible because you guys picked up the phone and you believed that you could do it. Quite candidly. You now have the suppressors, you have the Short Act, and you have the state preemption, which solves all the problems that it would cause. This is it, guys. This is the moment. Now we focus on the parliamentarian, we focus on the politics, and we drive. Make sure you send this out, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, and let's get to grinding because we've got some work to get this over the finish line. See you on the next one.